Hello, 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 my friends. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me show our splash video and then I will be right back with introductions in about 20 seconds. Welcome, 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 everybody, to another episode of Tarot by Hilary Live. I am your hostess with the mostest, Hilary of tarotbyhilary.com, professional tarot reader and EFT tapping practitioner, here to demystify the mystical and put you in touch with the most beautiful of gifts, your own intuition. Because yes, my friends, do not argue with me. You have intuition. I promise, promise you have intuition. And hopefully you guys have been following along with our book club selection, Psychic Tarot by Nancy Antonucci with Melanie Howard, and have been realizing just how psychic you truly are, especially when combined with a divination system such as the tarot. When I was first going to psychic development classes at the Open Center in New York City, I called it Psychic 101. It was probably called something a little bit different than that, with Stacy Wolf, who wrote the books Psychic Living and Never Throw Rice at a Pisces. She was the teacher there, and I basically asked her a question about, like, well, does this make me less of a psychic if I use a tool like tarot? And she was just like, no, like, you said it in your question, like, that's your tool. That's your tool to access your intuition. And the more you use your tool, the better you will become at tapping into your intuition, but also using your intuition, having it come to you outside of the reading space as well, which I have found to be incredibly true. So, and also, I wouldn't intro all of these episodes and say something like you have intuition with, unless I firmly believe that, which I do. So Katie is here. Hello, Katie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad you're here right at the start of the episode as well, and hopefully got the notifications that I was going live. And so this episode tonight is more of a catch-up episode. We are not doing the discussion of Psychic Tarot because I heard you guys loud and clear that you're a little bit behind on the reading. So am I. So no judgment at all. So we will just figure out when we're going to be doing our discussion of that. Probably not next Friday, but the Friday after, I would think, just to give us enough time to be able to read and also do the exercises if you so choose. So we're either going to do the discussion on the 14th or the 21st. I'm leaning towards March 21st for the book discussion of Psychic Tarot, which is our first book club selection, but I will definitely take your feedback under consideration. I was trucking through Psychic Tarot today. I got a lot of reading done today. And I was just doing before getting on the recording, I was doing the Fool's Journey exercise and about to sit down and do the turning point exercise on page 64, which is a majors only reading. So again, I mentioned this before, I think it was last week. When you're working with a book like this, with Psychic Tarot, you probably want to have a separate deck that you're working with so that you can separate it out into the majors, the minors, the court cards, depending on the exercises that are shown in the book. So in this case, one of the first exercises was separating the minor arcana A's through 10 off into a different section, leaving out the court cards, leaving out the major arcana. So you probably want to use a tarot deck that's not in your regular reading rotation and dedicate one specific tarot deck to doing the exercises in the book. That's what I would recommend anyway. I think it would be a lot of hassle to continue to separate out the deck every time you sit down to do an exercise from the book. So if you guys are following along and doing the exercises and reading Psychic Tarot, please let me know in the chat. Let me know how it's going. My notebook is getting filled with notes of these different exercises. I will say the essence, what was it? The Essences Spread Part 2 on the court cards that appears on page 42. Very interesting things that came up from that. So anyway, so I have in my hot little hands here the Weiser Tarot that I've been using to dedicate to the exercises in Psychic Tarot, majors only, right here, in preparation to do that exercise, probably after the broadcast, or who knows, maybe live on the broadcast, if you guys want me to. Anyway, so we have our three main pillars of the episodes. We have the Astro-Biz Digest, the astro-weather from Therese Reed's wonderful Astro-Biz Digest, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and the main transits of this week. I think today or this weekend might be a bit of a doozy. I know last weekend was a bit of a doozy. I do remember that. I don't remember which cards did I pull. I did it again, folks. I did it again. I don't remember what our oracle cards were from last week. Did I use the Roast Iconic? I think I might have, because it's still in my travel bag. You guys are going to have to remind me. I mean, it was a very good suggestion about taking whatever deck I used for the weekend forecast and moving it off to a separate section and then picking up a new one. Great idea. Haven't implemented it yet. So let me pull up my agenda. Catching up on book club. And just making a little agenda. Here. And that is in the way, so let me pull that up. All right. Let me download this with a transparent background, please and thank you, so that you can actually see me. It's nice to be able to create my floating overlays so that you all can follow along in the corner as to where we're at in the episode. Yeah. Oh, good, Katie. It's not just me. My memory is failing me on all accounts, even though you did make the suggestion. I believe you were the one to make the suggestion, but that's okay. We will grab for whichever oracle deck is tickling my fancy. I know for sure we didn't use the Nocturna oracle last week because it stayed at home. So we might use that this week. We'll see. Or Spirit Junkie. Spirit Junkie gave us a very interesting message earlier today when Melissa and I hopped on an IG to do an IG live to do readings on there, and we found we didn't feel like doing it. more often than not, the response was, "Can we just scream into the void?" And I'm just like, yes, we can do that. So I ended up pulling a card from the Spirit Junkie affirmation deck, and I'd have to look to see which one it was exactly, but it was very pertinent. Whatever it was very pertinent. So let's see, someone messaging me? No. Okay, good. We're good. Okay. So we start our episodes with astrology from the wonderful Astro-Biz Digest from Therese Reed, aka the Tarot Lady. We then move on to the focus of tonight's episode. I talked a little bit about, let's talk about the book club selection, where we are at it, and I'm leaning toward the 21st for discussion. Give you guys 2 more weeks to get the reading done and to do any of the exercises you feel like doing. Some of the exercises I've skipped so far because I don't feel resonating with them at the moment that I'm reading the book, but I am doing other exercises. So I'm not going to say I'm going to do every exercise in the book, just the ones that I feel drawn to. So if you feel like that too, as you're doing the reading, by all means, go for it. And then we'll wrap up I also want to talk a little bit about Lenormand and the fun of learning Lenormand, even though I feel like learning Lenormand is like such a misnomer for me because I feel like I've been learning it for 15 years now. It takes a long time for me to get out of my tarot brain into my Lenormand brain. And then especially it feels a little bit vulnerable doing public readings using Lenormand cards when I feel shaky. I feel shaky about Lenormand, but I also want to show you guys the process that Lenormand is a very different system to tarot. And, if I'm having difficulty with it and I'm still persevering and practicing out loud, I hope that gives you the inspiration to try something new. That's what I say about tarot as well, learning tarot, right? You're not going to be great at it at first. You're probably going to suck at it. You're probably going to make mistakes. That's true for me, for Lenormand, because I'm still in that learning process. So I'm learning out loud for all the world to see. So you can check that out on my social media accounts. And we'll talk a little bit more about how Lenormand is different to tarot. And then, of course, we will wrap up. We'll do the mid-episode reading if people are feeling called to do it. I have a tarot deck right here. I also have my Lenormand deck right here, Sawyer's Lenormand, that we've been using for readings every day. And then we'll wrap up with the weekend forecast from an oracle deck, most likely the Nocturna Oracle, or the Spirit Junkie Affirmation deck, whatever people are feeling. So if that sounds good to you guys, give me a hell yeah in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and put up this overlay that matches up with what I just said, because I just made it. There we go. Nice and clean and bright. Small words, but basically in the order that I just said. The astro-weather, catching up on book club, Sawyer's Lenormand, mid-episode reading, weekend forecast. So Katie says, screaming sounds great. The void is getting a lot of it lately. We might as well put it to the void, right? Like, let's not internalize that. Let's not take it in for ourselves, or have it turn in against ourselves. Let's put it out to the void. The void can take it, guys. The void can take it. Internalizing everything that we're feeling right now, we might not be able to take it, but the void can take it. So, all right, let's look at the astrology from Teresa Reed, aka the Tarot Lady, from her wonderful Astro Biz Digest. Again, the Astro Biz Digest is, I don't care if I get blocked out. Hello, right over here. Katie says, yes, please, lots to the void. Let's throw it in there. So the Astro Biz Digest is $99 for a year-long subscription, astrology in layman's terms, straight to your email inbox. It is geared towards entrepreneurs and business owners like myself, but I do find it very helpful in planning my personal life as well as my professional and my business life. So, if you like what you hear, I usually give the overview of the week, and then I give the nitty gritty for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because I don't want to take away from what Teresa is doing. If you like what you're hearing, please subscribe to the Astro Biz Digest, and you can link to it right here. tarotlady.com/Astro Biz Digest, or just navigate straight to thetarotlady.com, and she has top navigation there. and you'll see AstroBiz Digest is pretty prominent, or at least like work with me, and I'll probably drop down to AstroBiz Digest. All righty. So let's pull that up. So weekly forecast, March 3rd to the 9th. Venus is retrograde until April 12th. I mentioned this, I think, last week in the auxiliary office. Don't cut your bangs. Don't cut your bangs. Don't cut your bangs. Somebody actually reached out to me that follows me on IG, and I don't know if she watches the live stream. She might. So if you're tuning in, hello. She reached out to me and she was like, I've got an astrology question for you, but I don't know if you can answer it. So just let me know if you can. And I'm just like, I'll try. Because again, you guys know I'm not an astrologer. I know just enough astrology to be dangerous. She was like, I'm yearning to get a tattoo. When do you think I can get the tattoo? And I'm just like, ooh, okay, good question. Because I mean, if I'm saying not to cut your bangs, you probably shouldn't get a tattoo either during a Venus retrograde. So I told her it's probably going to be safest to wait until May. You can still do the preliminary work of like working with the tattoo artist and getting sketches drawn up, but I would not go and put permanent ink to skin until at least May. Because not only do we have Venus in retrograde, we also do have Mercury in retrograde coming up. Y'all know how I feel about Mercury retrograde. I do have episodes about Mercury retrograde fuckery, TM. So, you know, you can check that out on this channel. Oh my, hold on one second. I think my poor little headphone is about to die. Hold on. It's likely. I thought I charged them, guys. Hold on. Speaking about Mercury retrograde fuckery, and then something technological happens. Something untoward technologically happens. All right. I think it was my right earbud. Let's charge that baby up for a little bit. See if that helps to remedy. Okay. Audio still good, everybody? Hopefully, yes. Yeah, Katie is saying even maybe wait till June post shadow of retrograde. Yeah, so she was specifically asking me what the shadow period of Venus in retrograde is, and I don't know that because I know that Mercury retrograde usually has a shadow period of sometimes 2 weeks after it goes direct. I'm not sure if Venus has the same, but it is one of the inner planets-ish. I don't know. Again, not an astrologer, guys. So yeah, pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde. So we've got some stuff coming up. We're either in the middle of some stuff or we've got some stuff coming up that will add to the stuff that we were already experiencing. So if you feel like it's a lot, it's a lot. All right. Anyway, let's get into it. Venus is retrograde until April 12th. So curb your spending, set boundaries, and be mindful of your PR. So the big news of this week is Mercury's move into Aries on the 3rd. So that happened a couple days ago. Mercury, so on Monday. Yes, Monday. Mercury wants to communicate, and Aries loves to do so boldly. That means you'll want to be assertive, whether you're negotiating a deal or trying to woo the public with marketing campaigns. A shy approach will guarantee the public's attention remains elsewhere. At times, you'll need to be brutally honest, something Mercury in Aries favors. While that's always a wise choice, watch the brutal part. You could turn off the public if you're too candid. A bit of tact goes a long way. Now, that's something that I always have a problem with. Like, keep in mind, triple Aries here, guys. Sun sign Aries, Venus in Aries, Mars in Aries. I'm a lot. I'm a lot of Aries. Okay. My rising, my ascendant is in Capricorn. So that does tend to lend a bit of practicality to all the fire, but still, I'm a lot. So tact, not really my strong suit. So this transit's a little bit hard for me. Yeah. So Katie says, yes, Venus is an inner planet, but it's longer than Mercury. Right. Exactly. So actually, that's a good point, Katie. I might reach back out to my friend that asked me this question and say maybe June. Actually, maybe wait until June. So thank you. Yeah, Katie says messy month. It's a lot. It sure is. It sure is. So that's the big transit of the week. Mercury's move into Aries on the 3rd. We do still have Venus already in retrograde until April 12th. All right. So are we ready for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? I think so. So Friday begins with the moon squaring Neptune and stationing void at 9:57 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is a why bother energy. In other words, marketing produces little return on investment, and the public is confused, probably due to yesterday's news. At 11:29 a.m., the moon shifts into sensitive Cancer, a lunation that is terrific for client care or home office organizing. The public will be ultra emotional this weekend, so choose your words wisely. Be especially careful around 10:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will definitely be done with this live stream by then. When the moon squares Mercury. One wrong word and you'll piss off your community. Once again, the news cycle should be something else. Turn off the tube. Today, Friday, March 7th, is a power day for Cancer and a weekday for Capricorn. So not a happy camper there. Remember, my ascendant is in Capricorn, so it's a weekday for me. Okay, great. Love it. All right. Moving on to Saturday and Sunday. Saturday begins with the sun trining Mars at 12:13 a.m., creating a powerful can-do vibe for 24 hours. Confidence is high now. Tap in and step up your leadership game. Saturday evening is dope for leadership when the moon conjuncts Mars at 7:52 p.m. and trines the sun at 9:16 p.m. The dynamic duo for inspiring presentation, exciting group dynamics, and bold creativity. If you're hosting an event, expect breakthroughs galore. So Sunday brings the return of daylight savings time. Ugh, because we're losing an hour. Be sure to set your clocks ahead. Business intuition is popping when the moon sextiles Uranus at 7:39 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you get an intuitive download, trust your gut and jot it down. Keep a notebook by your bed. This is also a lovely aspect for group work or a breakfast brainstorming session with your team. Slow down when the moon trines Neptune and stations void at 5:32 p.m. Instead, enjoy a moment to dream. Get ready to roar when the moon enters Leo at 6:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a lunation known for sass, flash, and all of the glitter. You'll have until Wednesday to put on a show and make lots of noise. Organize your marketing materials tonight and hit it hard on Monday and Tuesday. Both days are power days for Cancer and weekdays for Capricorn. So that means this entire weekend, power days for Cancer, weekdays for Capricorn. So it's not all sunshine and roses, but if you have strong placements in Cancer, it's probably going to be a pretty good weekend for you, especially on Sunday evening. All right. So that is your astrology. And if anyone has any questions about, yes, rest, if I can. So if anyone has any questions about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, wants the astrological reason why for what's been going on for those days, please let me know in the chat. Otherwise, we will move on to talking a little bit about Lenormand, a little bit about the book club and psychic tarot. someone is asking me in the chat, can I ask a question? If you are here for a reading, you can always tune in for a live tarot reading. That is the mid-episode reading in which one lucky viewer will win a free 3-card reading with me live on the broadcast. That is the only live specific reading that I do on these live streams, because otherwise it's going to be a free-for-all. It's going to be a mess. It's crazy town when I do it for everyone. You can also book a reading with me at tarotbyhilary.com. That is the only place to book a reading with me one-on-one. All right. So does anyone have any questions about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday? Besides, the Monday being when Mercury moved into Aries, which I already told you guys about at the top of the broadcast. So I'm just going to take these out because we need to charge this. So let me know if you guys lose the audio at any point, because everything sounds good on my end. And I'm just going to check my settings. So Katie says, Tuesday was crazy energy for me. Tuesday, Moon Mars sextile, 10:25 a.m. Fantastic for marketing. Concentration accelerates when the Moon sextile Saturn, 4:37 p.m. Use this 2-hour window for deep work. Sudden gains or losses are possible when the Moon conjuncts Uranus at 8:56 p.m. Sales could be up and down, so very volatile when the Moon conjuncts Uranus. Probably not a good idea for spending sprees. Power day for Taurus and week day for Scorpio on Tuesday. Hopefully that helps, Katie. Awesome. Audio sounds fine so far. So for those of you that are asking questions into the chat, I just told you can book a reading with me, or you can wait until the mid-episode reading. But if you continue to ask questions, you'll be ignored. Sorry. I do this for a living. All right. So let's talk a little bit about our book club selection, Psychic Tarot, and also a little bit about Lenormand. So if you noticed today, unfortunately, my reading did not come true today. I thought I was going to be receiving a reviewer copy of a new book that's coming out in, I want to say June. I can't remember. I'd have to look at the email, but it's an author that I've worked with before. She wrote, her name is Gwendolyn Womack. She wrote The Fortune Teller. Yes, I think that was the name of the book. And so it's a fiction book about someone that discovers the first ever tarot deck, or a journal of the first ever, I don't know, psychic that used a very ancient version of a tarot deck. And so it's fiction. It's fiction, but it has some really good information about tarot. And it's overall a really nice, pleasant way to pass the time. Again, fiction, historical fiction, mysticism stuff. So, I did do a book review on that book. Gwendolyn reached out to me a week or so ago, and her new book is coming out, and she wanted to know if I wanted a review copy to do another review, since I read The Fortune Teller and I loved The Fortune Teller. So I said, oh yes, please, please send it to me. Here's my mailing address. Like, I'm very excited to read it. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. And so when I did my general Lenormand reading this morning that I posted to my social media accounts, I thought that's what the cards meant. And again, it's such a process. Oh, that's something that I wanted to grab. I wanted to grab what I'm using as a source of reference for using the Sawyer's Lenormand, because it doesn't have a companion book with it. I wanted to use some sort of reference material, since Lenormand is not my jam. It's not my first divination system. It is something that I like to play with. It is something that I'm constantly learning and growing. I love, like, I am a little bit of a divination magpie. I will say that tarot is always going to be my main squeeze, my main jam. It's really what I understand the most and what I work with clients with the most is tarot. But I will pull in the Lenormand on occasion, and I will work with it in such a way that I ask. I'm like, please, please be straightforward with me. Please be straightforward with me. Ask, answer the question as clearly as you can, so that I can interpret this for my clients, or I can interpret this for myself. Now, again, if I'm doing a paid reading for clients, Lenormand is not going to be my main jam. I'm always going to have my tarot or my oracle cards and give the reading in that way. But if I feel called to clarify in some way, sometimes I won't pull another tarot card on top of it to clarify. I'll pull 3 cards of the Lenormand to clarify. And that, again, it's instinct, it's intuition, it's in the moment. And I always will ask consent or permission from my clients. Like, do you mind if I pull out this system? It's not the same as tarot. It's a different system and it's read differently. But do you mind if I pull this out to get some additional clarification for you, or an additional specificity for you? So I have worked with Lenormand pretty successfully in the past with clients on a limited basis. But again, I feel like I am a consummate, constant beginner of Lenormand. I'm always like learning and relearning Lenormand. I take it out, I put it away, I take it out, I put it away. And most of my clients know or ask for the little cards, which is my my copy of the Vintage Petite Lenormand by Kendra Hertow. Those are the little cards, and like, they are truly little. They're about yay big. So Sawyer's Lenormand are bigger than that. But there is a technique in the Lenormand called the Grand Tableau, in which you use all 36 cards of the Lenormand to give a reading. And again, you activate different cards. So if you're looking at a client's health, you might be looking for the tree card. If you're looking at romantic interests, or what their partner thinks about them, or how the relationship is going to go, you're going to look for, if the client is a woman and they're in a heterosexual relationship, you're going to look for the man card. And then you're also going to read the cards in between the woman and the man card to see what's going on. If they're in a homosexual relationship, you would have 2 women cards or 2 men cards. So you would look for the other man card, or you would look for the other woman card in those instances. So a lot of decks now come with additional cards for the woman card or the man card, so that you can change up your deck to suit the client's preferences, which I find is really interesting and really great. So that you don't have to that you're not being insulting or discriminatory. Like, you're activating the cards of the relationship that is in existence that they're asking about. So I find that to be very, very cool. So this deck that we've been using this month is Sawyer's Lenormand by Jamie Sawyer. These are the backs right here. And a lot of you last week we were talking about it, and I was just like, I don't know, for the month of March, I feel like doing Lenormand. How about you guys? And you all were just like, yeah, Lenormand sounds good. Let's do a Lenormand. So I wanted to feature a Lenormand deck that I had not featured before. I feel like I've featured the Petite Lenormand before. Maybe not for an entire month, but I feel like I have showcased that deck before. So I wanted to showcase a Lenormand deck that I know for sure that I had never shown to you guys before on social media. So hence the vintage petite Lenormand, not the vintage petite Lenormand. I was just talking about that, the Sawyer's Lenormand. So this is the Sawyer's Lenormand in my hot little hands. So still smaller than a tarot deck would be. So like I have the Weisser Tarot right here as an example. So here's the Weisser Tarot, and here is the Sawyer's Lenormand. Let me actually put that up evenly so you guys can see. So this is about a standard size of tarot card. I would say that these Lenormand cards are pretty standard size for Lenormand as well. Most of the time, Lenormand cards are going to be a little bit smaller because of the Grand Tableau. If you have Lenormand cards that are a little bit larger, for example, I have the original version, small batch print run of the Gilded Reverie Lenormand by Ciro Marchetti. Those cards are about, they would come up to about here, I would say. So it's very hard. You have to find, you have to find the space. Like you have to find a surface to be able to lay out 36 cards in a, gosh, I think is it 9 cards. I think it's 9 cards across. For a Grand Tableau, like that's a large surface area to find. And most of us, I mean, especially those of us who are apartment dwellers, it's hard to find that kind of space. So when you're looking for Lenormand cards or Lenormand decks and you want to attempt the Grand Tableau, you might want to get yourself a mini Lenormand or a more standard sized Lenormand so that you can actually do the Grand Tableau if you're thinking of experimenting with that particular spread. It's fun though. It's a lot of fun. You pull a lot of information. So today I was a little bit disappointed that my reading did not come true. And that is the point and purpose of practice. Sometimes you have to lay yourself on the line of the court of public opinion, be willing to be wrong. You are going to make more mistakes in your learning at first. That's just the natural process of learning. You will be more wrong than right at first. And hopefully you learn some things about the divination system that you're in the process of learning so that you can start to get those cues in your visions or your intuitive hunches or your hits or the feeling in your body that determines what's a hit or what's a guess. I talk a lot about the feeling of guessing versus the feeling of getting an actual intuitive hit. And it's hard to describe because it's going to be different for everybody. What an intuitive hit feels like in my body somatically is going to be different than somebody else's experience. So you have to kind of like notice what you're getting as you're getting it, and also keeping a journal of your intuitive hits and any thoughts you have around it, or any using your interpretations or your intuition or writing down your hits and then seeing what happens. I think it's a really great way to not necessarily frustrate you. You will be frustrated at first. Like I was, but you will start to understand how your intuition works with you, and also understand how your intuition works with that particular divination system that you're learning. It may be that you're not a Lenormand reader. It may be that tarot is more of your main squeeze, kind of like me. Or it may be that cards don't speak to you, or the tarot doesn't speak to you, but you really like runes, or you like the I Ching, or you like bibliomancy, or you like oracle decks, or sometimes you just see things, or maybe you're a mirror gazer, or can see things in flames, or you use a crystal ball. But we all have so many different ways of understanding and interpreting our intuition. And not every divination system is going to be like a home run out of the park for every person. Like there's such a wonderful variety. And I encourage people to experiment with divinations, different divination systems, and see what works for you, what doesn't work for you. But I will say, give it a chance. give that divination system an honest chance. Learn the rules as well before you break them. Especially with Lenormand. Like Lenormand is frustrating to me right now because I want to be able to give people, their card of the day or their interpretation or something, and I want to be able to give it, but Lenormand is so based on the question. What did you ask the cards? Go back to the question. And when you go back to the question, it often becomes so much clearer because it's just like tarot can go off on all of these tangents and they can be like, oh, well, I know you asked about your love life, but there's a very pentacly card coming up and it really wants to talk to you about your finances or your job because that's what's affecting your love life. So tarot can be very tangential in that way and want to talk about different things. Lenormand, no. You go back to the question. At least that's how I was taught. So Katie says, in the background, I just checked for the finish of Venus and Aries, and it doesn't move into Taurus until June 6th. In the various views of post-shadow opinions, one, when it leaves post-shadow, or two, completely leaves sign, it started retrograde. It will be safest for that two to wait till after June 6th. That is so witchy, Katie, because I was thinking June 6th. I don't know why. But I was thinking June, like that exact date, June 6th. So I will reach back out and say June 6th or after for that tattoo. And I don't know the nature of that tattoo either. But I have a feeling it's gonna hit, it's gonna be really helpful. So thank you, Katie. I will definitely reach back out to her and say June 6th or after. Yeah, exactly, Katie. I looked at your Sawyer's reading this morning. I could not work it out just by looking. Lenormand is so out of my bandwidth. Again, it feels like it's out of my bandwidth too, and yet I've had such surprising results with it. So it's just like you really do have to put your tarot hat, take your tarot hat off and put it down, put it into a box, seal the box, put your Lenormand hat on. It's hard. It's really, really hard. And I'm also experiencing this a little bit with the Psychic Tarot book that we're doing for our first book club selection. Like maybe I shouldn't have decided to tackle Lenormand on the social media card of the day post and Psychic Tarot and Tarot, as the book club selection. Maybe I should have combined forces a little bit better. Because with the Psychic Tarot, some of these exercises, I feel like it's not necessarily that I'm beyond them, but it would have been probably better for me if I had approached this book fresh without any tarot knowledge. Because it's hard for me to get out of the system, the personal meaning, like all of the stuff that I have. I have this overlay of tarot knowledge, or the file system in my head of like, oh, Hierophant means this, Three of Swords means this, Seven Pentacles means this. I've got all of these associations, and they just come. They come when I'm looking at these cards. So it's very hard to take a step back when Nancy Antonucci says, like, follow the energy, follow the energy, look beyond the physical attributes, where is it? There was a particular quote that I really liked from this. Yes. Whether you view a court card as someone else, yourself, or primal energy, pay attention to any clues from your body. A very helpful question when you see a court card is this me, or is this someone or something other than me? So if you instantly relate to a card, have a physical reaction such as jumping, or resonate with it on a psychic or emotional level, the card is most likely a mirror for you. If it is somebody else, there is a sense of observing it from a distance. You won't feel it as much. So don't be fooled. And so that's a little bit about the reactions in your body that I was talking about a little while ago, right? And then also gender and age also connotes certain kinds of energy. Don't be fooled by anyone's outward appearance. True of, someone physically in front of you, but also the court cards. If you look at the court cards with unbiased eyes, you might be surprised to discover who is truly old and young, feminine and masculine. So it's hard to take a step back if you already have some tarot knowledge, and be unbiased and look at essence and energy rather than, oh, Queen of Pentacles means this. So that might also be the reason why I'm having a little bit more trouble on going through this book a little slower than I anticipated. Because I'm just like, okay, no. Step back, do the exercise, really get into the meditative state and trying to blank out or be unbiased. It's hard. But also know that any memories that come up for you, that is a part of the intuitive, possibly the intuitive message that the cards are trying to give you. So Katie says, awesome, your spirit guides are astrologists. I guess. I'm certainly not one. So, all right. What was I saying? Oh, let me grab the essential Lenormand. But this is also another point that I wanted to make about Lenormand. So, just because today in particular, my reading didn't hit it out of the park with, thinking that this book was going to come in the mail. So the cards that I received were, hold on, let me see if I can share it with you guys. The problem is if I share it with you guys, I won't be able to, let me see if these headphones are charged up enough so that I can actually share audio without doing an echoey effect. Here's hoping. Just giving them a little bit of juice. All right. Because I did put that as shorts. I did. Am I not broadcasting to YouTube right now? Oh, I'm going to be so pissy. Oh. So Katie said your reading might mean something else later today. The day hasn't finished yet. Thank you for the faith in me that you have. Yeah, why am I not? Oh my, why am I not coming up? Ruh-roh, guys. No, it's in here. So for some reason, I cut out on the tube of you. What the hell? I cut out about 20 minutes ago. Good to know. That's a little bit irritating. No, I did. I totally did. I'm sure you got a notification, but it cut off about 20 minutes ago. That was only about 21 minutes and 8 seconds. We were still in the astrology from Teresa Reed's Astro Biz Digest. So I don't know what happened there, guys. I don't know. I will have to let my third-party app know, and I guess re-upload this later. I know. You know what it was? I mentioned Mercury retrograde. That must have been what did me in, guys. All right. So let me pull this up for you guys. Very weird though. Usually it's the other way around. Okay. All right, let's see if I can pull it up here. Yep, it figures, right? Oh, and Lynn is here. Hello, Lynn. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're just discovering that that I'm not broadcasting on the tube of you right now for some reason. I mentioned Mercury retrograde like once or twice, and everything craps out over on that side. I don't know what happened. I don't know. I will figure that out at another time. Let me share this just to give you an example of, and let me take down my my overlay just for right now. Okay. Why is that video not available? Oh, I can't win, guys. I can't win. All right, that should do it. Let's try this again. Nope, doesn't want to show. All right, I can fix it. You want to know how? Share screen, that's how. We are going to share that. Yes, and tab audio. By Ronna George tells me that there is a book in the mail. Is this coming up in your feed? If so, this message may be for you. From the Sawyer's Lenormand. For today, we are receiving the bouquet, the rider, and the star cards from the Lenormand. This combination of cards, when consulting with the Essential Lenormand by Ronna George, tells me that there is a book in the mail that I should be expecting today. And it is actually a book, it's a fiction book that I'm going to be reviewing, but it does have to do with divination and weird metaphysical stuff. So I think bouquet, happy arrival of this book that I'm expecting. Your mileage may vary, but the question that I asked was, what do I need to focus on today? So, hopefully you guys saw that and heard that. How's the audio? So weird, guys. So weird. I mean, if it's not connecting to, let me see. Like, I don't understand. I really don't understand why that cut out. Okay, good. Anyway, I'm still really peeved about the two of you. Just nope. Anyway, so that reading, meh. and I mean, like, that's very nice of Katie saying, you know, like, hey, the day's not over yet. You could still get it. It might mean something else later today. The day hasn't finished yet. Very true. It's 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so the day isn't over yet. You're right. But that wasn't a reading. So that's an example of a reading that is just like not great, not stellar. However, there's the other reading that I think was much more, I guess, showy, showy or show offy, from the other day when I was looking for the Essential Lenormand, the book itself that I was going to use for a reference material for Sawyer's Lenormand. And I gave results too. It's just like, here's where I think it is. And I have used Lenormand. Like, I think I am most successful with using Lenormand in locating lost objects. I think that is my, like, if I happen to have like a specific talent in the realm of Lenormand, that's where my talent lies, is using Lenormand to locate lost objects. You know, my mom can tell you I've done it for her a couple of times. My best friend can attest to it as well. And I've also done it for myself. And this one was a really, really good example of that. So it was the starting point of, you know, the month, basically, is like, if I can't, Zuri's here. Zuri crept in here, and now I feel very self-conscious, but I love how you say it with the French accent. That's the only French I can speak. I can't say it the other way. I try. What is it? Lenormand. Like, how, I can't say it the other way. I try so hard. I sound so freaking pretentious. I don't mean to be pretentious. It's just like, I can't say it the other way. Anyway, but that's that first reading that I did, as the example of, okay, we're working with the Sawyer's Lenormand, but we can't really work with the Lenormand until I have some kind of reference material, because I am not strong in Lenormand. Like, this is definitely like, I'm putting it all out there and learning, and you're going to learn along with me or not. Suri says, you know, I had to tease you. I say it the same way. Good. At least I'm not the only one. But looking for objects using the Lenormand is really interesting, and it sometimes can be incredibly literal. And in the case of looking for the book, I wanted to use, oh gosh, I called it, but hold on, which was it? Where are you, my friends? I pulled 5 cards for that one. Yes, I did pull 5 cards for that one. So I'm just going to show it to you guys on the screen. So as determined by y'all during Friday's live stream, this is last week, and also because I was feeling Lenormand too, we start today with Sawyer's Lenormand. Now, this Lenormand doesn't have a guidebook, so I'll be using the Essential Lenormand by Rana George for help. That is, if I can find it. At that point, I hadn't found it yet. I knew it was somewhere in my house, but I hadn't found it yet. So today's question for the Lenormand last week, or the beginning of the week, is, where is my copy of this book? I've had success in the past locating objects using Lenormand. I'm hovering at about 90% accuracy on finding lost objects. Like, I'm not gonna brag without backing it up. Like, I've been pretty successful about finding lost objects. Yes. And Zuri, that's the reason why I wanted to use that book, because I saw her announcement that she's coming out with an updated book of the Essential Lenormand. Yes. So I can't wait to see the additions to it, because it's a really great book already. The first edition is really great. So I can't wait to see what the revised edition is going to look like, and extra materials. So using the Hunting the Lady method, what I coined as hunting the lady. That's probably not the right terminology either. I've activated the book card as a representation of what I'm searching for, then shuffled. I then looked at the deck face up to locate the book card, pulling the 2 cards before it and the 2 cards after it. So I got Child, Moon, Book. So that was the representation of the book that I was looking for, Ring, and House. And oftentimes when I use Lenormand in this way, it can be quite literal. So I thought near my jewelry box with the ring card, where I keep my childhood possessions, the child card, near my makeup or mirrors with the moon card, and definitely somewhere in my house. So I opened it up to different people's interpretations because, I want this to be a learning tool as well. So circular basket or container in the house, that was from Dina. So Dina, thank you. I said containers, yes, tons, circular, no, but you're onto something with containers. So it was in a plastic bin that I keep a lot of my books in. I have several of them. So the update was, so using the significator of a focus card from page 19 of the Essential Lenormand, activated the book card, shuffled 2 cards before it, 2 cards after it. Oftentimes when I use Lenormand in this way, it can be quite literal, and it was. So near my jewelry box, the actual location was under my jewelry boxes. Where I keep my childhood possessions, child/moon, the actual was the childhood photo. This is what really blew my mind, guys. So this is not me tooting my own horn. This is me tooting the horn of the Lenormand. Like, I did nothing. I did nothing. It was the system. But when you ask, when you bake into the question, like, please be as clear as possible in answering this question, it will be. So the actual was the childhood photos kept in a fabric pouch with a freaking moon on it and a book on astrology next to it. Near my makeup or mirrors, child moon, actual, a notebook from my childhood on witchy things, again, with a moon drawn on it in silver ink. If your mind's not blown, I don't know what can blow your mind, because my mind was pretty blown by that. And I can give you the example. So I'm going to go grab the Essential Lenormand, and I'm also going to grab some of those things so you can see on screen. But I also provided pictures on my IG, my social media, so you can see, like, here's what the reading was, here's what the result is. So prediction and actual. And that might be also the reason why I get a little bit like weirded out by Lenormand, because it does have somewhat of a predictive element to it, where tarot is much more amorphous, sometimes a lot more open to interpretation, while Lenormand is not as open to interpretation. I mean, if your main jam is Lenormand, like, obviously you are above and beyond so that you can get into the interpretation, and have it be more art than science. But right now I'm still in the science portion of Lenormand, and I don't know if I'm ever going to graduate to the art of interpretation of Lenormand. So that's not an insult to Lenormand readers. That is an insult to me as a Lenormand reader. Like, tarot is way more of my jam, and I feel way more comfortable with tarot than Lenormand. But I'm still going to be uncomfortable for the sake of growth and evolution and learning something new in a public sphere. So hold, please. I will be right back with the Essential Lenormand. So I have a bunch of shit here. So here is the book, The Essential Lenormand. Hefty tome. Hovers around with the appendices around a little over 375 pages, and a glossary. 383, 384. Fantastic. Really meaty. Very interesting. And can't wait for the updated book, because I'm sure it's going to be fantastic, and have way more examples. What I really find to be the most helpful for this book is, so she has the breakdown of all 36 cards, right? She has a summary. She has the playing card association with that card. She has contextual meanings, whether it's future, woman or man, physicality, nuance, work, love, health, body and spirit, money, time or timing, advice or action, orientation, as in positive, negative, neutral, and objects and areas. So I like that there's so much context, there's so much meat to it. But my favorite part is the personal stories about each card, each 36 card in the, each of the 36 cards in the Lenormand, because it really helps to understand, putting these cards in context with the rest of the Lenormand deck, and also what you're asking. Like there was one, so I was looking up the association of the stars, and the personal story, and one of it was quite literally like one of her sons got like a rash, and the combination was sun and stars. So like literally where is stars? I think stars is 16. There isn't memorization necessarily in the Lenormand, but it does help to memorize the number, just so you have more of a reference. So stars, yeah. It kind of made me laugh. She had 3 separate stories for the card, for the star card. But the sun and stars, where was it? Was it the sun card? Yes. Sun and stars. One of my boys pulled 2 daily cards, sun and stars, went to play outside. Later, he came home with a rash all over his body. Bright red everywhere. He had some allergic reaction from playing outside. We never were able to figure out the cause, but looking back at his cards, we were astonished at how the cards were plain and simple, especially for only 2 cards: sun, bright, breakout, being outside, and stars spread all over. So anyway, highly recommend you have some kind of guidance if you're working with Lenormand, and you can't find a better teacher than Rana George. Pick up a copy of this, or pick up the updated book when it comes out of The Essential Lenormand. I would also recommend Emily Rose Lenormand. She has some really good information on her website, and I've been looking up some stuff from her, just for like some quick fixes when nothing's coming to me as I'm looking at these cards. Again, the Sassy Sybil was another one that I learned how to read Lenormand from. There's a ton of Lenormand teachers out there, and you can learn a lot from this. Oh, V from Red Light Readings as well. But again, Lenormand, and then where I found it, Moon. Guys, Moon and Child. Childhood pictures in here. Want proof? Oh. That's not such a young Hilary, but that's me in college. That's me and my Trinity from the Matrix. There we go. There's young Hilary. I think that was like my 8th birthday. Card carrying Aries that I am. Center of attention. I also have incriminating photos, childhood photos of my family as well. So this one's my 10th birthday for sure. Yeah, Katie's like, didn't we all want to be Trinity? Yeah. Oh, God, I miss that outfit. And that outfit looked like leather. It was not leather. It was like the most comfortable leather jacket. And I can give you a date on this. 2002. Halloween of 2002. Where'd my 10th birthday? But like I was saying, child and moon. I don't know. I think that's pretty freaking literal. Yep, I don't know where that went. Oh, there's my 25th birthday cake. That's from where my hair was really, really short. Yes, thank you. Oh, when I was a bumblebee. My bumblebee costume. I love that bumblebee costume. Oh, I love that dress. And that was a photo I was not, I'm trying to avoid certain photos in here too. There's my 10th birthday. All right. There you go. So Katie said, I thought that reading became obvious, but I would not have predicted it from looking at those cards. Yes, exactly. So some of the magic of, well, divination, I would say in general, doesn't have to be necessarily Lenormand, but I feel like I have more examples of it with Lenormand than with tarot. The readings that become clear after the fact. Like you don't know, you can't make sense of them until after they happen, and then you're just like, oh, that's what that was. Oh, okay. Like, oh, I get it now. Super interesting. But like, okay, so if that didn't blow your mind, childhood photos in a pouch that says moon on it, with the moon, okay, and dreams or whatever, right? This is a book from my childhood, Hilary's meditation book, all right, with a crescent moon in silver ink. Now, the astrology book, there's also an astrology book in there. It was Chani Nichols' You Were Born for This, which I still haven't cracked open, but I have it, and it was right next to, like, it was right on top of the Essential Lenormand book too. So that I already like put back in the Tupperware, but it was there, I promise. But this I had to keep out because it's literally notes from so Hilary Perry's meditation book, okay, in silver ink, an exploration of New Age books, Bridge of Light by Launa Huffens, Ariana's Thread. I think that was by Shekniah Mountain Water. the Tarot, the Nova Pack. So that was my very first tarot deck, guys. Crystal Energy by Gary Gold, and Practical Intuition by Laura Day. And I think 4 out of the 5 books were from the library. So I literally wrote, and I have tabbies on each of this. One for Bridge of Light, one for Ariadne, one's for You Are Psychic by Pete A. Sanders Jr., Crystal Energy, and Practical Intuition. So again, childhood notes on new agey things with a damn moon, silver moon. Now, unfortunately, some of these notes that I took, so 97, so I was 16. So some of these notes I made in pencil. So they tend to, that was pretty clear, but they tended to smear. So like my heart breaks because I can't really read this. Written in pencil or silver ink does not stand the test of time. Oh, and some of the earliest readings, some of the earliest tarot readings I ever did too. Woo, guys, it's like a walk down memory lane. Okay. Didn't take a lot of notes on You Are Psychic by Pete A. Sanders Jr. Just a thought. Practical Intuition was actually a really good book, and I highly recommend it if you guys are looking for exercises and strengthening your intuition. I recommend Practical Intuition by Laura Day. I also recommend The Psychic Pathway by Sonia Choquette. And who knows, we might do that as a book club selection too. Either Practical Intuition or The Psychic Pathway. I don't know if I still have a copy of Practical Intuition. I definitely know I have a copy of The Psychic Pathway because that was in the same Tupperware container where I found the Essential Lenormand. All right, I'm looking at the time, guys. And some of these questions that I asked, so in Psychic Intuition, you ask questions. You ask like main questions, like the big 3 questions that you want answers to. So this was this is 1998. I was 17 years old. So I was obsessed with getting psychic powers. And now I'm a professional reader and finding my soulmate. Have I met my soulmate? Back when I didn't know what the hell I was talking about. But the 3 big questions that I wanted the answers to were, do I already know my soulmate? What is the truth around the circumstances surrounding my parents' divorce? I knew that. I didn't need to know that. I already knew that. And question number 3, I'm still working through in therapy. Does my father truly want me to be happy? This gives you a great snapshot of my mindset at that time. So anyway, if you ever wanted to know if these if these cards were insanely literal sometimes, especially for locating items, they can be. So we're going to continue to work with Lenormand this month, even though it makes me deeply uncomfortable, especially when I'm wrong a lot of the time, because I'm going to be wrong a lot of the time, because it's a system, a divination system that I'm still learning. That's my point. This whole live stream, that's my point. All right, do we want to do the mid-episode reading? Let's do it. We can do Lenormand. We can also do tarot. I have the Accurate AF tarot to hand. I also have my workhorse deck, which is the Radiant Rider-Waite Smith. And let's pull up the lottery jar, comment snake. And as usual, to be considered for the live reading, comment tarot into the chat. TAROT into the chat. And we will also pull up the countdown widget, which closes in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So let's start that up. And once again, my workspace is a hot mess right now. And I'm going to have to download and re-upload this episode to the tube of you because it did not last. I don't know why. Let's ask the tarot. Let's ask the Lenormand while we're waiting. That's a literal question. That's a nice literal question for the Lenormand while we're waiting for people to participate in the mid-episode reading. Ooh, that's a flyer. I've said moon too many times. Moon, 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 moon. I'm going to put that back into the deck. So... those are really positive cards. So I don't get it. Katie is saying, I don't need a reading today, so not jumping into the jar today. That's okay. And if we don't have a taker, we can just move right into the weekend forecast. So question that I was asking the Lenormand is, why did the YouTube stream crap out? And I'm getting dog. I'm getting clover. And I'm getting house. Right. It's true, Katie. So Katie says, I always find it amusing that those people that want a reading so much won't stay for the mid-episode reading. It's free, but they are too time needy or just needy in general. Like, I don't get it. So in case you don't know what we're talking about, there was someone in here earlier that was like, just ask their questions rapid fire. Even after I said, you can book a reading with me or you can stick around for the mid-episode reading. But those are the only times, you know, because I have to preserve my sanity. And if I answered everybody's questions, it would just be a free-for-all. And then, of course, if I do a session where it's just all readings, crickets, or nobody shows up. So it's interesting. It's interesting, but I got to preserve my peace, you know? Yes. I guess that's the interpretation. YouTube is being a dog today. Oh, that's kind of an insult to this poor doggo. And I know this was Jamie's um uh Basset. Is it Basset Hound? Uh Barney. Barney Boog, who unfortunately is no longer with us. Barney Boog. But like dog, clover, and house, like they all have positive associations. So like I'm a little curious about that. All right, I guess we don't have a taker for the mid-episode reading tonight, which is totally fine. Um, Not happening. Cool. Cool beans. We'll try it again next week. No harm, no foul. I don't mind. So before we move into the weekend forecast, I'm just gonna quickly look up dog, clover, and house. So I'm actually right to the clover page of the Essential Lenormand. When this card appears, it forecasts happy tidings to the reading as long as these cards are not to the right of it. Clouds, snake, coffin, and sometimes scythe and mice. See, I would not have been surprised if scythe or mice was in the reading, because that usually is like scythe is usually cutting off or endings, or mice is usually like nibbling problems. And sometimes, according to the Essential Lenormand, it's very literal gnawing of like the cables. So interesting, guys. Getting the clover card after a series of negative cards predicts the end of sorrow, that trouble will be short-lived, positive turning of the wheel, and the return of luck. Take a leap of faith. Well, it's not the question that I asked, though. Yeah, it's a card. Positive. This is a positive card, which only gets diminished if it's followed by a negative card. Be optimistic, stay positive, grab that opportunity. Okay, so the dog number 18. Sincere, sign for a sincere relationship, loyal friendship, companion, acquaintance, soulmate, guide, therapist, advisor, counselor, person you call on when you need help, or a shoulder to cry on. Give support and stand by you no matter what. Sometimes the dog shows up when help is at hand or aid is on the way. Okay. Okay, and then house. Place of residence where you go to bed, your routine life with all the joy, pain, and people that you share it with. Well, I'm literally broadcasting from the bedroom. So satisfaction, security, protection. Always look to the cards surrounding it to get a feel of it, if it's in good shape or if you need to guard against something. Neutral. This card by itself can be looked at in a positive light, but it gets colored and influenced by the cards around it. Don't know. I don't know, but maybe it will become clearer. Maybe it will become clear. Also, there is a technique that we can use, y'all. By adding the numbers together, we can get another card. So 18, so the dog is the 18th card. 2 is clover, 4 is house. So 18 plus 2, 18 plus 2 is 20. 20 plus 4 is 24. The 24th card of the Lenormand is the heart card. So it's happiness, joy, contentment, satisfaction, passions, desires, affections, likes, loves, fondness. So interesting. I don't know, guys. It's all added up to the heart. Whenever the heart card comes without any negative cards around, even if the circumstances at the moment are not on the uplifting side, I know deep in my heart that things will change for the better. Well, okay then. I'm not going to keep going. I'm not going to keep dredging that up. I'm just going to let it go, and we can always download and re-upload to the tube of you later. But that's another exercise that you guys can do with Lenormand. And if the number adds up to a number that's more than 36, like the 36 card is the cross card, then you can just add to reduce, much like you would do for your birth cards or your year cards. In the tarot, you would just add to reduce down to a number between 1, which you're probably not going to get, 1 and 36. All right. Yeah, Katie says, still no idea. I can't offer any helpful thoughts. That's fine. And neither can I. I tried all the techniques I know for Lenormand. I do know that the cable was down at my mom's today because of high winds. So I don't know what the wind card would be for the Lenormand, or what would represent that. So clouds, maybe. Yeah, I'm still getting the dog card. I pulled the dog card again. Dog, sun, and house. All right. I don't know. We'll see. Or maybe we won't. 'Tis a mystery. Yeah. And that's why I'm going to keep on doggedly. Dog, you get it? You get it? Doggedly keep at it. I find it fascinating, but it seems so unfathomable. It seems my guides run away. I mean, you're not the only one, Katie. You're not the only one. It's just like I've said this before. I think when I came back from Reader Studio all of those years ago, when I took the class with Rana George, when like Lenormand was sweeping the divination community, that was the year that I taught at Reader Studio, and we were supposed to have I was supposed to be one of the readers in the celebrity psychic fair. Like anyone that was doing an evening class was a part of like the celebrity psychic fair and be available to do readings for people on the Friday night. And I had no takers. I just didn't. So my schedule was clear, and I'm just like, oh, Rana's teaching the Lenormand class on Friday night, and I don't have anyone signed up for sessions. Let me go talk to Ruth Ann and Wald and see if I can just take myself out of the running and go to Rana's class. And they were just like, yeah, sure, that's fine. So that was a very, very full class. And honestly, I'm kind of glad that I wasn't one of the presenters on Friday night, because like everyone was in Rana's class. So like, I'm glad that I was on the Saturday night, so that I didn't have to go up against her. That's stiff competition. So, but yeah. But as I said all those years ago, and I'll say it again, let me love you. That's what I say to Lenormand all the time. Let me love you. Why won't you let me in? And you know, it works. to varying degrees, but tarot, you will always have my heart. All right, let's do the weekend forecast. I am feeling guided to the Nocturna, which is now underneath all of my many examples of where my Essential Lenormand book was. So let's go with the Nocturna Oracle. And, you know, if you're finding divination systems to be a little bit unforgiving, even if you find tarot to be a little bit unforgiving, like, try an oracle deck. Oracle decks sometimes are a little bit kinder, a little bit gentler, a little bit more forgiving, don't have as much of a structure. I find they're a nice way in to cartomancy. So try it. Of course, they're kind and gentle, maybe in your hands, not so much kind and gentle in my hands, as we've all experienced. And you all know sometimes the cards read me to filth as well. I am not immune. So what do we most need to know for this weekend? Yes, that's a good point too. Different systems are going to be helpful at different times. So Katie says tarot and I clicked. Oracle is always great for when I'm being down or depressed. Yeah, exactly. I will say that Teresa Reed, aka the Tarot Lady, she's still working on Lenormand. In her hands, she gets negative readings. It doesn't work for her. And she's trying. I think she's going to continue to try. And I tried to, I think that reader studio, I was trying to give her Lenormand readings, and every negative card in the under the sun was coming up for her. So it's just like, I don't know. It's like this. I remember the story that Melissa Sonova shared about her and runes, where like the runes for like no came up, and it was just like, okay, maybe not for you. So there can be an element of that too, that not every divination system is going to be, you know, a match for your energy. And that's okay. It probably has nothing to do with you, you know, again, different ways into your intuition. Yeah, oracle cards can be nice, can be too nice. Yes, they can be sometimes too sweet and fluffy bunny. Unless they are in your hands, Hilary, then they kick if they need to. Sorry, guys. Aries tarot reader. You knew what you were walking into. At least if you've been along for the ride of the live stream for a while, you know. They can be sharp. They can have teeth. All right. What do we need to know this weekend from the Nocturna Oracle? Which again, moon. Ooh, pretty. So we're getting asphodel. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Asphodel is on page 23. So asphodel is Asphodelus macrocarpus, feeling stuck, unable to move on, and regret. In the Greek underworld lies the fields of asphodel. This is the realm where ordinary people who are not heroic enough for the Elysian fields, nor wicked enough for the pits of Tartarus, lie. In Victorian florography, the flower means, my regrets follow you to the grave. Are you unable to move on from something? Is there anyone you need to say, I'm sorry to? Interesting. A little Debbie Downer there. Even though that's kind of funny, Katie. No apologies required. If you need to be kicked, you need to be kicked. As I pull the apology card. Can't make this shit up, guys. All right. That's it for us this week. I'm going to go have my dinner and chill out a little bit. I hope you all do the same, or wherever you are in the world. I hope you enjoyed tonight's live stream. I think we're going to do the book club discussion of Psychic Tarot on the 21st. So mark your calendars. If you are doing the book club, if you're following along with me, doing the exercises in Psychic Tarot, we will come back and discuss that on Friday, March 21st. Okay? Okay. Giving you guys an extra 2 weeks. I'm giving myself an extra 2 weeks. I'm giving you guys an extra 2 weeks. And the lunar eclipse. The lunar eclipse this coming week. The big eclipse energy. Yeah. That lines up nicely for that too. Figures. All right. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate you. There is no live stream without you guys. Otherwise, I would be just screaming into the void. Right, Katie? Be safe this week. Go howl at the moon and scream at the void. Yes, exactly. And just remember, we do this every Friday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, on different metaphysical and divinatory topics. Thank you, Hilary. Have a wonderful week. You too, Katie. And if you guys would like to book a reading with me, you can do so at tarotbyhilary.com. Please make sure to follow along, click the bell, subscribe to the channel, click the bell to be notified every time we go live or when there's new videos. Every Friday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're here, rain or shine, unless otherwise noted. Thank you all so much for watching. Once again, I am Hilary, professional tarot reader and EFT tapping practitioner, here to demystify the mystical and put you in touch with the most beautiful of gifts, your own intuition. Yes, my friends, do not argue with me. You have intuition. Have a wonderful, wonderful night, a wonderful weekend, and a great week ahead of you. And I will see you again next Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye.